Hey everyone.
No.
Hey.
Hey.
I see lots of awesome faces.
There y'all are.
Yep, sorry, it took forever to pop up. We are going to get started really quickly because I'm going to upload this to YouTube afterwards. And so that way there's not a lot of chatter beforehand. Hey.
Hey, Jacquelyn.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
Too. We got a lot of people on. This is awesome. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mute all. And there's a chat box over here, guys, too. I want you guys to chat with. So let me go over here and mute all. You can also mute yourself. And mute all.
Are you going to those?
Continue.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. So let me go back to me and make sure you can see me. All right. So there's a chat box to the right. If you guys have questions, we're going to jump in and get started. I'm going to wait and make sure you guys can hear me okay. Let me go back over to the chat. If you'll just put in the chat that you can. And we will get started.
It says my internet connection is unstable, Jacquelyn. I don't know if that's me or you. I unmuted myself to tell you.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. All right. So you guys can hear me? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. All right. So we're going to get started. My name is Jacquelyn Roy. I am so excited to be here tonight. I am a superstar director in Oklahoma, and I invited my group, Christy Pollock's group, and Amy Mark Charles's group. So those are your 3 superstar directors. If you got invited to this, then you're underneath us somewhere. And I see a lot of my amazing directors on tonight too. So I'm hoping at the end they can share some insight and some things that we missed tonight. So I'm going to get started first. I'll tell you just a bit about me. I've been in for 10 years. I've done a lot of things wrong and hopefully done some things right. But I've learned along the way some things that have really helped new consultants get started off on the right foot, make more money, build their teams up. And so I feel like I've done enough things to know what kind of works. I will say that for me, Scentsy's our bread and butter. I was an ICU nurse before, and I quit my job, and I just do Scentsy now and absolutely love it. I'll make sure I put an income disclosure in the YouTube description part. But I love what I do, and I love sharing my passion for Scentsy. I love helping others succeed, as do a lot of my leaders that are on this training with us tonight as well. The neat thing about you joining right now is there's no better time to join Scentsy. In all of the U.S., I know there's only about 90,000 consultants. In all of Canada, there's only about 13,000 consultants. Maybe Patty can type in the chat how many are in New Zealand, if you know, in Australia. I'm not sure if you know that, Patty. And I'm not for sure about the UK, but I know one thing. The market is nowhere near saturated. So we're not even 1% saturated in any of the markets globally or in the US, which is very, very, very exciting. You guys joined at a perfect time. There are a lot of customers and there are not near as many consultants. So if you really want this to work, I know you can. And I hope that tonight we fuel you with a lot of excitement and inspiration, and you go off and you have parties and get new customers and get recruits and really build your team. So I'm going to talk to you about some things to do while you're waiting on your starter kit, and maybe some things to do, you've been in for a month and a half, and just some things to do that if you haven't already. And then we're going to have Fifi and Shonda come on and share 2 things. And then I'm going to ask my leaders to come on and share anything that we left out. So what you should do while you're waiting on your kit, and number 1, make labels. That should be the first thing that you do. You're going to get these labels with your starter kit, and there's a template on your workstation that you can print out your own with these, or you can make your own. You can use address labels. You can actually go to avery.com and you can find address labels at the store. I don't know about other regions. I know as far as the US, you can go to avery.com and you can print them out that way, or you can go to Vistaprint. And I like to make a lot of my labels on Vistaprint. It just says need more Scentsy and has all of my information. For me, I think it saves me money because I'm not printing on my printer a lot of ink. So that's what I do. So get labels made and then label everything. The inside of bars, room sprays, the bottom of warmers, the side of your counter cleaners, the side of your laundry products, of what laundry products you have. Label everything. I cannot tell you how many people that I actually just got popped in my head, a new customer the other day, because she was given a gift and it had my label on it and she didn't know anyone that sold. So label everything. Label your catalogs. Label your join brochures that come with your starter kit. Label your samples. Samples come in your starter kit. Put labels on everything. My labels just say need more Scentsy ? And then it has all my information. I've seen some that say need to reorder ? And then all your information. That's definitely something that I think is really, really important to really brand everything that you give out. Another thing I would say that's really important is to book a launch party. I always say book it within your first 2 weeks. Because you're going to want to earn Shooting Star. And Fifi's going to come on here in a minute and tell you all about Shooting Star. Book your launch party as soon as you can. If you're watching this and you've been in 3 weeks or 4 weeks and it's not your first 2 weeks anymore, but you haven't had a launch party, have a launch party. Have a sip and smell. Have a bingo and Scentsy. Have just your girlfriends over. Have a bunko night. Have a sip and smell. It is one of the best things that you can do as a new consultant is be surrounded by 4, 5, 6 people and then ooh and awe over the product you sell. It creates excitement. You're going to sell more. You're going to make more money. The average party, you're going to make $100 US. So the average party, you're going to make a decent amount. So, and that's US. For as far as New Zealand and Canada, I'm assuming it's probably around those numbers. But the average party, you're going to, it's going to pay for your starter kit or close to that. You only need, I always say you need about 6 people at a party for a party to do really well. If you have no time whatsoever to do a home party, I would say the second option, which isn't as good, but it's a good option, is a basket party. All a basket party is a basket. I have mine. Let me show you what this looks like. So this is a thermal tote that you can buy. It's thermal. It's kind of like a lunch pail. You can buy anywhere. So this is something that says party to go on it. And you can fill it with catalogs, order forms, and your testers. Call this a basket. I also call this my little employee. And if any of my leaders have at the end want to show their basket parties, get those ready because I would love for you to show them off. And this is your employee. And I always say I want to have at least 3 or 4 employees working for me every month. If you are a busy on-the-go consultant and you just joined and your excuse is you can't have a home party, that's okay. Get a basket party. Ask your friend Sue to bring it to work. Ask your other friend who's a teacher if she'll bring it around to her work. Ask your other friend that works at a bank if she'll take it around to all of her employees. Basket parties are great and there's no excuse. I don't care how busy you are that you can't have a basket party. So they're great. And I would say a couple points on this. If you get them booked this week because you're so excited, you can split up the testers that came in your kit. They don't need the full set to have a basket party. You can make at least 2 or 3 basket parties from one set of testers. All right. So don't let money hold you back. I don't have enough money to buy more sets. Don't let that hold you back. Split what they gave you into 2 or 3 sets and make 2 or 3 basket parties and have them working for you. And then when you get those out, set dates on those parties. Don't let anyone have it for longer than 7 days. Set an end date. Try to book their party around their company's payday. That always works really well too. Basket parties are so much fun. And I also would say set a goal with the hostess so she knows what to achieve. Don't just say, here, try to collect some orders. Say, hey, if you collect X amount, you'll get free shipping and you'll get all the host rewards. And you know what? If you can collect X amount, I'll even throw in an extra room spray. So you can definitely do things like that. So that's a basket party. So book some type of party. Create an online party. Go to your order tab. Create a party link. Share that like crazy on social media. See if someone wants to host a Facebook party. You can go to YouTube and type in Scentsy Facebook party, and you will learn every which way to have a party. You can go to YouTube and type in Scentsy basket party. You can see all kinds of ways to have a basket party. You can go to YouTube. You can type in Scentsy home party and look at all kinds of party games and parties I did. YouTube is my best friend, especially when it comes to new consultants, because there's so many people that do things either better than me or different than me. And there's so many opportunities to learn. So the more you research, the more you know, and the better you'll do. Another thing I would say is make your list of 100. I usually tell my girls to make it the first day they join or even before they join. And then after you make that list, go through that list, message everyone on that list, a personal message, letting them know you joined, what your link is. Say, would you like to help me get started as my friend and book a basket or home party or online, however you want to word it. Or even better, if you want to make extra income with me, let's do this together. So message everyone on your list of 100. And I'll tell you a quick story on why to do this. I got a recruit in Canada. Right when it opened up in Canada and back in 2009, she was very excited. I said, you need to make your list of 100. You need to message everyone you know. She said, okay. Well, she called me a week later and said, my aunt signed up. I said, oh, that's great. I didn't even notice. And she said she signed up underneath someone in Hawaii. I said, you've got to be kidding me. What happened? She said, well, I didn't listen to you and I didn't make my list of 100. My aunt went to Hawaii on vacation and someone told her about Scentsy. She came back and joined underneath her. The aunt to this day is a director in Canada that's very successful, whom could have been underneath my friend. So my point is, as soon as you join, you got to make that list. You got to contact everyone you know, because you never know whose life Scentsy could be a blessing in. You never know who is about to go to Scentsy.com and find a consultant because they're completely out of wax. You never know. You might have a friend that wants to host a party because she's done it before and she wants free and half price items. You never know. So message everyone. If you haven't come up with a list of 100, do it tonight. Your friends, your family, your Facebook page, through your phone, people at work, your husband's work or your spouse's work or your girlfriend's work or wherever, but make your list of 100. So important. Another thing that you need to make sure you're doing as a new consultant is you have that checklist on the front of your homepage when you log in. Guys, I wish I would have had even a fourth of that when I joined. We didn't even have a training center when I joined. There was nothing. We've come a long ways, and Scentsy really fuels you with everything you need to succeed. On that checklist is how to place an order, how to do a launch party, how to navigate the workstation. That's the checklist that I would say you need to complete within your first week or earlier. I know it can be time consuming, but the more you know, the better you do. The more you know, the more successful you're going to be. So go through that checklist. It's really important if you want to earn some awards with Scentsy that checklist is completed as well, especially in your first 70 days. But the more you know, the quicker, the better you'll do. Another thing I would say, my one last thing, and then we're going to have Fifi on, is set a goal. The first goal I always set with my consultants is to earn shooting star, which Fifi's going to talk about. I'll let her explain that. And then to sell 1,000 PRV. Not $1,000, 1,000 PRV for different regions, 1,000 PRV. If you're in the US, that is per dollar, but other countries are different. That is the first goal. Don't look at our compensation plan. Our compensation plan is great. I promise you it's great. But don't get all, googly-eyed at it and cross-eyed because it's easy to do. Your first goal should be sell 1,000 PRV and work on getting someone to join your team. You might say, well, I just joined. I'm still kind of figuring it out. I don't want anyone to join my team yet. The best time you can recruit is when you first join. You have excitement. You're enthusiastic about it. And you get your friends on board with you and you guys learn together. There's no better time to start building your team until when you first join. I mean, that's the best time. So your first goal, get to certified. Sell 1,000 PRV and make your list of 100. Get people to join your team. And I'll add one last thing. I said earlier that the market is very ready for you guys to be successful. 4 or 5 years ago, our market had a lot more consultants in it. And now, fast forward, there's about half the consultants that there were. And I would say this is most regions, not every region, but there's about half the consultants that there were 5 years ago, which means you guys have an opportunity to really make some good money, to change your life, to change someone else's life. I don't know how many times I hear on a weekly basis, I used to have a consultant, but I'm so glad you sold because I used to know someone that sold, but I hear that so much. So the time is now. I mean, if you want to make this work, no excuses. You know, set your goals big, learn as much as you can. And then what Fifi and Shonda have some amazing things to say. So Fifi, why don't you come on, girl, and we'll make sure everything works. And then I'll mute myself.
Hello, everybody. Testing. Can y'all hear me?
You're good.
Okay, great. My name's Felicia Fitzgerald, and I gotta admit, when Jacquelyn said that she was putting this on YouTube, I almost freaked out. I was like, oh no, because I usually do all my lives in the evening out of the shower. And so when she said YouTube, I was like, oh my goodness. But I'm telling you guys that for a reason, because I think as a new people, we kind of think, you don't know what to think actually, but it's important to me, especially to share that it's okay with Scentsy to be doing your job. This is my job from my bedroom in my pajamas, no makeup on. I actually put it in a big old bun so you guys didn't have to see my Lion King hair because that's what it looks like when it's down. But that's why I love Scentsy, is because you don't have to feel like it's something that you need to, I mean, please shower, but you don't have to feel like you need to put a whole face full of makeup on if you don't want to. That's my deal. So I started Scentsy in August 2015. I wasn't expecting for it to work out, by the way. I tell everybody I joined because I wanted just to make like an extra $50 a month. It ended up working out. It kind of like snowballed in a good way, because I know my first month I was just having buyer's remorse because I just got a new car. And Scentsy ended up making my car payment that first month. And I'm like, well, this is awesome. This is a blessing. So I remember making that my goal every month, which is always important, is to make goals. And, and then the next month I was making my car payment and my electric bill. And so it just felt good. And I think when you take it day by day and not try and look way down the road, you end up in wonderful places with Scentsy. And here I am 3 years later. I have 104 people on my team, which is nuts, because I remember when I recruited my first person, I was like, what am I going to do? But I recruited. I remember that's what they said, recruit right away. And so I did it. And never in my wild dreams did I would think that I would be quitting my full-time job of 9 years and doing Scentsy full-time. So I'm still adjusting. It's been, like 3 months since I've gave it my full-time position, and I love it. I love it because I get to be home, do all the mom things, do all the wife things, do all the church things that I didn't get to do before. So Jacquelyn asked me to speak tonight. I got my notes here, which I usually don't have notes, but I didn't want to stumble. I know we're timed. So she wanted me to talk to you guys about like kickstarting PRV, hitting milestones. And I love talking about the new stuff. I love it. So when she was referring earlier to Shooting Star, sorry, y'all, my blanket is not working for me. Let me tell you first, I do want to explain why it's important to hit certain milestones. And all these awards that Scentsy has when you're new, they're kind of like short-term goals. And if you hit these, or at least aim to hit these goals, it kind of ensures your success. It gets you a good customer base and you start off on the right foot. So one of the first goals you have, which some of you may have passed already, but in your first 14 days of signing up, you can achieve the Shooting Star Award. Now, the Shooting Star Award is 500 PRV. It's a little bit different in the other regions as far as they have to get 500 PRV, but for us, it's 1 PRV equals $1. So for us, it's $500 before tax. I'm not sure what it is in the other regions, but I do know it's 500 PRV to hit Shooting Star. It's not mandatory, but I explain this to all of my new consultants, because if you can hit 500 PRV in your first 2 weeks, you're really off on the right foot. You're off on the right track. Another good one to earn, which is one of my favorites, is called Sensational Start Award. Now that you have 70 days to achieve, and there's 3 levels. It is on your workstation now, which I wish we had that back in my day. I say that, but Jacquelyn really was like back in the day, and she really didn't have nothing on. They probably barely had a workstation, let alone a tracker on the. So you guys are very blessed to have that right there in front of you, and it gives you the requirements. And it can be a little bit complicated with Sensational Start, but you can pretty much earn each level based off of just PRV or PRV in recruiting. So those are amazing goals to aim for, y'all. And I do know if you hit level 3, you get to walk at our annual Scentsy convention, which is huge. Like there's thousands of consultants there. And this year it'll be everyone from around the world. You get to walk on the stage in front of everybody, and you just feel so accomplished. I would love to see someone on my team do it. I would love to see some of you newbies that are watching do it. And you get a trophy. And I know I should probably know what else you get, but they changed it up just recently. But I do know you get a trophy to, I think, with level 2. I'm not sure. But get with your sponsor, and you guys can both get together and set some kind of plan. Another short-term goal is I'm certified. Now, certified, like Jacquelyn said, don't look at the compensation quite yet, because the compensation plan quite yet, because it can be a little bit confusing. What I suggest to all of my new people is to get certified as fast as possible. Whether you want to do Scentsy to quit your job, or whether you want to do it as a hobbyist, I think that being paid the most that you can be I think it's important. And whether you're a hobbyist or you want to do this full time, I think it's important because you get a 5% raise. So you start off as essential consultant, 20%. If you promote to certified, you get 25%. So that's my focus for my girls. And I let them know from the get-go, whatever you want Scentsy to be or not be, small part of your life, big part of your life, let's get you certified because I want you paid that 25%. I just think that's what you guys deserve. So sit down with your sponsor and think about Shooting Star Sensational Start, and I'm certified. And if you guys, I promise you, if you hit Shooting Star, if you hit Sensational Start, some level of it, and certified, you're off on the right foot. Now, with that said, let me give you a couple examples, a couple things that I do. One of them are samples, and this is what everybody does. You'll be so familiar with samples, you'll be doing them in your sleep. But there's millions of ways to make samples. There's YouTube videos, there's pictures out there. So Google samples, your sponsor will help you. But I ran out of little tiny baggies the other day. I usually put these little wax samples. We have little wax molds, which I don't have in here. And I melt the wax, a little chocolate melter, and I put the wax in there, it gets hardened, and I pop it out, and I put it usually in a little bag with a little sticker on it that says a scent. However, I have an event coming up this weekend, so I kind of spice them up. Please do not feel like you need a big old bag like this every time. Like literally, I put a business card, wax sample inside of a little jewelry bag, and I call it a day, and those are my samples. I just do these for this weekend because I have an event. So I had to do a bunch of these, and I'm doing Jacquelyn's LDU program. Don't feel like you need to get molds. Don't feel like you need to make them pretty. If you need to get a butter knife and saw those little suckers in 5 pieces per cube or whatever and stick them in a bag, the important part is that you have something and that you're doing the footwork and handing all these things out and getting your name out there. I'm not saying that I have customers flying through the door with samples, but I think samples are important because it gets your name out there. People call you. People that get the samples might not use Scentsy, but then they refer somebody and they're like, hey, I got this sample. So that should be one of the first things on your list. I know Jacquelyn mentioned doing your list of 100, and she mentioned doing making address labels, doing wax samples. Don't get too caught up in, because you might live in a little village of a town and you don't have a Walmart or Hobby Lobby to go and get little chocolate molds. Take a little butter knife, cut them up, and hand them out. So that way you guys can get your basket parties out. Now I want to talk to you guys also about like long-term success. But I want to start that off with what I call two of the biggest mistakes we can make, being a new person and being a seasoned consultant, because we go through this cycle all the time. So what I would advise to everybody, because I know there's a lot of people on my team that joined in February and your Shooting Star Award is over, period is over. Whether or not you had a successful launch party or not, please do not let that determine your future. It does not matter at any party at that, not just your launch party. You can have 5 parties be a flop and they just suck all together and you get 0 sales. That does not determine your future. What determines it is the footwork that you put in it. And the same thing, even if you had a good party. I had someone promote to certified with her launch party in 3 weeks. But that, it's a new month every month, you guys. So you have to always be willing to put in this footwork. Don't get so caught up on no one wants to book parties, or, last month was so good. We're at a new month. We're in a new month. So you guys have to remember the footwork, the samples, getting out there, building relationships with people and getting them to try Scentsy. Maybe letting someone who's never used Scentsy before use a warmer and wax for a week just to try it out. The whole point is you need to get this stuff under people's noses. Now we do that through parties. Scentsy a party-based business, of course, but you don't have to. There's other ways. There's fundraisers. Ask friends if they're soccer moms, baseball moms, if they need any kind of fundraising. Trust me, if you have kids and they're in sports, or you have friends, you are broke, because these kids and their sports suck you dry. And so I'll have a lot of friends do fundraisers. Those are big, big PRV makers for my business. So keep that in mind. Maybe your church needs a fundraiser. You could do events. You can ask friends to take the basket party to work with them. And you don't even have to say, I call it undercover parties. I'm like, hey, Andrea, here's these scents. If you want to take these to work, I'll give you a free scent circle. Just get everybody to write down their favorite scent on this little notepad here. And I'll give you an extra drawing in my monthly drawing. I didn't mention nothing about a party. I didn't say, hey, have a party, because I think that sometimes people shy away from parties or the word party. But when I just, hey, I'll give you a free scent circle if you take this to work, they're like, yeah. And then they turn it back in and there's orders. Not every time, but it's getting my name out to people that I didn't know, whether it was a party or an undercover party or an event or a fundraiser. If you know anybody that has a business, ask them, hey, I will give you guys a free warmer if you let me put it at your front desk with business cards and samples. I'll come refill it for you every other week. Most people say yes because it's free and they want their place to smell good. I mean, even if it's a tractor store, someone put a warmer the other day in a boot store. I mean, it was like owned by a grungy old man, but he's like, I want my boot store to smell like weathered leather. So of course, I mean, this is what's called footwork. So that's going to ensure your long-term success. Shooting Star, Sensational Start, and Certified, that's good short-term success, and you need that just as much as you need long-term. But I could tell you, these people aren't going to keep, you're not going to keep getting that much PRV from the same people over and over. So just remember that. Don't make that mistake of thinking you're good and kicking your feet up because your launch party was amazing. We're proud of you. Trust me. We're so proud. But we're on to March, and March is a new month. And the same, I had some girls whose launch party didn't get anything, or maybe got 100 or, active. They didn't hit Shooting Star. That is okay. It's the people that show up every day to do something for their business and do all this footwork and all the things that can ensure themselves long-term success. So I hope that helped. And thanks, Jacquelyn, for having me speak. I think Shonda's speaking next, I believe, right?
Yep. Hey, Phoebe, before Shauna gets on, I'll tell you, I had one party where it was when I was fairly new. No one showed up. Me and her watched TLC Baby Story. I'm not even lying. But, I got to really talk with her. I made the best of it and really got to invest and know her. And she ended up joining my team.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. So you never know. I've had parties where one person showed up, but we talked so much that I got her to book a party. So like BP said, the amount of people that show up at your parties does not, you know, does not tell you what success you're going to have. You can easily have success with a few people there. And I think a lot of that is on the host coaching. So definitely YouTube some host coaching. One thing I do want to give you one tip. One thing I always tell my hostesses, if you get 6 people there, I'll give you a 6-pack of bars for free. That's just something I do. And then I use the perpetual half price item, which is a hidden one you guys might not know about. Ask your sponsor to purchase that 6-pack of bars. You can always do 6 scent circles. You get 6 people there. You get a 6-pack of scent circles, something cheaper. If you get that half price, it's not going to be very much at all. If you get 6 people there, you're going to have a great party. So that's something I do as part of my host coaching, but definitely YouTube that if you're seeing that a lot of your parties aren't, you know, with a lot of people. Maybe you need to do more host coaching. But okay, Shauna, your turn. I'll quit talking.
You had a hubby behind you.
I did.
You did. He was waving at everybody. Oh, well, I'm going to talk to y'all a little bit. Can everybody hear me? All right. I'm going to talk to y'all a little bit tonight about when you show up, you go up. I love that little saying. I use that with my team all the time. I'm Shonda Clayton. I'm from Tupelo, Mississippi, and I'm director of Team Unlimited Potential. Love my team. But I want to talk to y'all a little bit about how you've got to show up to things. You've got to show up for events. You've got to show up for things that your leaders put on for you. You've got to be there and be involved in things. And I know that can be difficult, especially if you're working a full-time job. Those things can be difficult, but they're really going to pay off in the long run. So a little bit about me. When I joined Scentsy, I did not join to do this for a career, for sure. Just like Felicia said, I love the products. Somebody had a basket party and brought it to my work, and I bought a little warmer and one little bar, and I fell in love with it. And when I decided I wanted to buy some more Scentsy products, the lady that was the consultant did not have her labels on anything. So when Jacquelyn tells you to put your labels on everything, there's a really good reason for that. These little labels, I put them on every single thing that I send out. I don't care if it's a product or if it is a catalog, whatever. Everything has a label on it because that lady did not put her labels on anything. When I got ready to buy something else, I could not buy anything from her because I didn't know who she was. It was a basket party, so I'd never met her. When she brought my items to me, she didn't put a business card in there. She didn't have anything labeled. There was no way to know who this lady was. So today, whoever she was, she could have had a team of well over 140-something people underneath her because I was going to join. And she didn't know that. But a little lesson about putting your labels on things, make sure that you do that. It's very important. I did not plan to do this as a career, like I said, and I went to Scentsy Family Reunion at the urging of my leader. And when I got there, I thought, oh, this is pretty cool. This is a lot of fun. And then they announced an incentive trip. I wanted really bad to earn that incentive trip and worked really hard. And that was my first trip to earn. And that was when I was sold. That was when I fell in love with Scentsy. I got to meet Jacquelyn in person for the first time. She's my superstore director. And I met a lot of other people that were doing this as a career, even some husband and wife teams that were doing it as a career. And I'm an RN, and I thought, this is a lot more fun than washing booties all day, things like that. So I just started doing it part-time and working a little bit harder and a little bit harder. And I realized that I wanted to do this and leave my nursing career, which of course scared my husband to death. He did not want me to leave nursing. He thought it was the best thing in the world. And, we all have our reasons that we might want to leave our jobs. But, I just felt like Scentsy was it for me. After I started doing it, I felt like it was the place that I wanted to be. So I worked really hard, and I have left my nursing career 14 months ago. And I'm doing this full-time. It's my full-time gig, and I absolutely love it. I don't regret leaving nursing at all. And so here we are. But I just want to talk to y'all a little bit today about participating in everything you can possibly participate in. I worked for 6 years full-time as a nurse while I did my Scentsy business. So, I know what it's like to really feel like you're overwhelmed and tired and things like that. But I've found since I've been home that I saw so many more people. I got out and I did a lot more when I was actually working. Busy people do so good at this business. And so it's even a little more difficult for me now because I have to make myself get out of the house. Whereas when I was working, I was getting out of the house every single day and going and seeing people anyway. So one of the first things I think is very important for you to be involved in is your team page. Almost every one of your sponsors or your directors are going to have a team page that you can be involved in. You're going to see news posted there. You're going to see tips posted there, trainings, encouragement from other consultants. There's so many things that are going to be on those team pages that you're going to want to participate in. I looked at some of my numbers today, and from February of 2017, out of my top 20 producers or people that had the highest PRV, 18 of those were people that had been active on the team page this month or in February. So, that tells me those are the people that are really doing well, are the people that are participating. And when I say participate, that doesn't just mean scroll through there and throw a like on something. That means if you have a tip, post it. If somebody's asking a question and you know the answer, help them. Answer that question for them. Jump on the training calls. When there's a live Facebook, jump on there. Even if you don't have the full time to sit there, jump on. Learn what you can in those few minutes. Just be as active as you possibly can. On my ladies that sponsored, I say ladies, I have some guys too on my team. Out of the 27 who sponsored someone new in February, 23 of them were active on the team page. So, they're all there again, people that are really active and participating. Don't ever be scared to ask questions on your team page. I know a lot of people, when they're new, they think, oh, I don't want to ask questions because it may be a stupid question. Somebody's going to think I'm crazy for asking this. I promise you, somebody has asked that question before, or somebody is hoping that somebody will ask that question so it will be answered for them. Over this past month, I know Jacquelyn said there was over 400 people that joined this past month, in her team. So that's a lot of people that are sitting there needing answers to questions. You may be posting something that if that person sees the answer, it's going to help them in their business as well. So don't hesitate to post and be active on those pages. Another thing that you really need to work on being active on is the workstation. Workstation is very important for you to be active on because that's where all the news is posted. If something new is going on with Scentsy, you need to be on there. You need to know what's going on there. You can run your reports and things like that. You're going to learn how to do it. I know it seems crazy right now, but you're going to learn how eventually. And the workstation is not as scary as it looks. Jump on there and do it, and don't be afraid. You can click anything on that workstation and you're not going to tear it up. I promise. When you log out and log back in, it's going to go right back to normal. So don't worry about that. Just jump on and learn all that you can on your workstation. Let's see. Online Steps to Success is, I just want to touch on that right quick. It's something that Allison and Brian Dalkey do every Tuesday night. It's at 8 p.m. Central. And that is a live Facebook. They're actually having it right now, but we thought this was a good time for y'all to do this. So you can go back and watch it. It's always recorded. But when they do trainings like that, it's very important, if you possibly can, to get on them live. For instance, tonight, they don't realize that there's actually a booking blitz going on tonight, I think. So, you never know what may be going on. And if you're not on there live, you're going to miss the excitement. You're going to miss being actually participating in that activity that they're doing. But every Tuesday night, jump on that call. Learn all you can. Take notes. Make sure that when you start recruiting people onto your team, that you let them know about those things that are going on as well. When you join that page, It's actually a Facebook page, so you just go in, join the page like any other page, and then set a reminder on your phone every Tuesday night so you don't forget about it, because I know I'm the world's worst to forget about showing up for things like that. So my phone goes off and I'm like, oh no, I have a training call. We all do it. Don't worry about it. Set reminders on your phone for things like that, because we're all busy, but it's very important to try to be there for those things. If you can't be there live, go ahead and listen to the recording as soon as you possibly can. There may be some really important information that you need, and you can get it quick. LDU is a program that I guess Jacquelyn started it, I'm not sure, but it's Leadership Development University is what that stands for. And I'm just going to touch on this right quick because it is a program that's done once a year for consultants that are needing to get a little extra bump in their business. And it's really something that you need to do. We talked about it today, and those people that participate in LDU had 800 PRV, average of 800 PRV, versus the people that didn't participate in LDU, they had 120 PRV. So it's a little program. It's a 10-week program, and she gives you challenges each week that you go out and do. For instance, one of the things that we've done before is we took our set of mini testers and we dressed them up like little characters and things like that and took them everywhere we went. Well, it kind of seems silly at the time, but when you take your testers everywhere you go, you realize that people ask you what that is. Most people think it's lip gloss. So when you take those with you everywhere you go, you learn that it's not that scary to do something that's a little bit out of your comfort zone, but it's a really good program, and all those little tasks like that really help you to grow your business. One of the big things that I do want to talk about is events in general. All of the Scentsy sponsored events. World Tour is every spring, and it's an event that Scentsy hosts. There's usually around 30 to 40 locations, and they're spread out all over the world. So you usually are going to have one within 4 to 5 hours driving distance of you. There is training, there are home office people there, there are giveaways. It's a very low cost event, so it's also tax deductible. We have a blast at World Tour. It's a great way to get to know the people that are on your team, especially those that are local. You know, we travel together. We have a great time together. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of giveaways. It's just a really good day of Scentsy training, and it's kind of like a little mini convention, or a mini Scentsy family reunion, as we call it now, which is something else I'm going to talk to you about. But World Tour is absolutely a must if you can possibly go. The next one I want to talk about is Scentsy Family Reunion. And that is the big event of the entire year. Scentsy Family Reunion is huge. It is so exciting, so much fun. It's something that I encourage everybody on my team every year. I'm like, please go to this event. It is the best one to go to. That is where everybody's going to get their major awards: annual sales award, annual mentor award, shining star like Jacquelyn. There's all these great awards. It's a great time to bond with your Scentsy family. You get to meet the people that you've talked to on the computer all year long, and you don't know who they are in person. So you get to meet those people and hang out with them and have a good time with them. There's lots and lots of giveaways. We always get the new products that are coming out in the fall catalog. It's held in July, so you're going to get those products that are coming out in the September 1st catalog. And that's exciting because you're the first person to get your hands on them. So those consultants that don't go, they're not able to get those products as quick as you are. So it's kind of one of those things where you're like, oh, I got the products first, you're getting to smell the scents and everything. So that's really exciting. The training is really over the top at Scentsy Family Reunion. They've had some really big name people that came and spoke. John O'Leary was one of the people that just really stuck out to me. He was great. I don't know if you've ever heard him, but he's one of those people that just really stuck in my mind. And he was a great trainer, a great motivational speaker. We have some awesome people like that come and speak. The entertainment, of course, is over the top as well. We've had people like Kelly Clarkson, Train, One Republic. This year we're doing tickets to Disney. We've had comedians come like Jim Gaffigan. It's really just a fun-filled week. It's a week long. This year it's in Anaheim, California, and there's still time for everybody to sign up that wants to go. But it's a yearly event. It's always in July. Unless it changes, it's always in July. So, I mean, it's something to really think about and focus on trying to put that into your calendar for your business, because it's going to help your business so much to participate in events like that. Scentsy Family Reunion is one of those events where when people go to it, they come back and they say, I get it now. I really get it. Like, I want to work my business. I want to make this a business. You know, they actually see their dreams coming true. They can actually see ahead and believe in themselves a little bit more after they go to an event like that. So, one of the small things, email. Always make sure you're checking your Scentsy email. They send you important things. When we feel like we are not reaching somebody, that's like our last resort. We're like, I'm sending them an email. Maybe they'll get this email. Because, you know, some people aren't on social media a lot, and that's okay. But email is something important to check. And when Scentsy sends you something important, like you've earned an incentive trip or you're close to annual sales award or something like that, that's how they're going to send it to you. So always make sure you check your email and keep it up to date on your Scentsy workstation. Facebook is something that I do want to touch on a little bit too, because I know some of you may not have Facebook. We're doing Zoom tonight, of course, but if you don't have Facebook, it may be something that you want to consider. If nothing else, just to keep in touch with your Scentsy family. If you don't want to add everybody in the world, that's fine, but it's a big way that we communicate with our downline and share these trainings. For instance, we shared the link for the training today. You know, all of our trainings, we'll get on Facebook and say, hey, don't forget there's a training this week, you know, things like that. It's really important to try to get on Facebook if you can, just for that. And also, it's good for your business. If you use it in the right way, it can be really good for your business too. So those are just a few tips that I wanted to share with y'all. And I'm telling you, when you show up, you go up.
Yay. Love it, Shonda. Those are awesome tips. And I love that you shared statistics, because it's so true. The people that are active and involved do way better. So if you're not starting off hot, maybe get more involved, ask more questions, watch more trainings, you know, stick like glue to people who are doing things right, stick like glue to people who are having successful parties. When you see that top 10 list, your director hopefully is posting, you see who's the top 5. If they're doing something good, message them. You sold 2,000 PRV. What are you doing? You know, look at that as ways to learn. I would like to hope and think that our teams are all about giving back and giving more than they take. And so I would hope that us as leaders have created that type of environment for you guys, you know, and message us if you need extra help. With that being said, Fifi and Shonda, you girls are amazing. Fifi, I'm glad you got that ice cream out that you're working really hard at getting out. Shonda saw that.
Sorry, I forget I'm on camera. It's me versus the ice cream.
We're just normal people that eat ice cream and do trainings. I mean, anyone can do it, right?
Pretty much.
So questions. I have some amazing leaders that are on tonight. So if any of them have anything they want to add that we missed, do it now. And if not, we're going to see if we have any questions real quick and then cut this off and upload it to YouTube. You guys can share like crazy.
I will. I took notes and things jumped out at me. For new people that don't know, you get a free website for 3 months. Make sure that is priority to keep that after 3 months. It's $10 a month. It's the best investment because it's the only way people can join your team and shop online. So you definitely want to keep that investment. That's very important. And know your catalog. I mean, we just got new catalogs. I don't know my catalog that well yet. I mean, this is brand new to us too. So get familiar with your catalog so you're not fumbling, and use the products. A lot of people join Scentsy, and well, my friend Lindsay joined Scentsy and she'd never even seen a warmer or wax. I mean, she had never, ever seen Scentsy, but you did too, Patty? Oh my gosh. So anyway, but then now she's great and loves the products. But use the products, know the products, because that's very important. I'm not going to talk about this. I want somebody else to talk about warmer and scent of the month and how important that is. I think that they need to know that. And go back and read your Scentsy standards, because I know when I joined, I was so excited about joining. I just checked yes to everything and didn't even really read it. I mean, honestly, I did not even know what I was signing up for. I just was ready to sign up. There are rules. There are some guidelines and rules that you need to know. Now go back and take the time and read the do's and don'ts of what we can do. And somebody can talk about the bonus, you get a 5% raise, which on my county job, it's probably been 10 years since I got a 5% raise, but I got a 5% raise in Scentsy the first month. But you can also make 30%, and somebody needs to talk about that, I think. And keeping tax receipts. Your starter kit was your first tax write-off. You can make money starting in this business if you keep good tax records. Okay, Patty, somebody else. That's all. I just wanted to.
So awesome, Delinda. Okay, so Patty, you can jump on.
I will interrupt because she just talked about my favorite thing.
She called you out.
Got me excited. So I'm Patty Wonder. I am obviously American, but I live in New Zealand, so don't be confused. Delinda just said something. If you're somebody like me, the money's great. The man cares about the money, but I care about prizes and recognition and bling and trips, and that's what gets me excited. And I've worked for lots of other people. I know somebody that's worked for somebody for 25 years. And they gave him this watch, and it is not like swag from Hollywood watch. This is like whatever that name brand is watch. And I was like, really? I've been on 2 trips this year and I just started. So that always puts things into reality for me. But Delinda was just talking about if you get over 2,000 PRV a month, you get 30% commission instead of your 25 when you're certified. And you can do that right when you start. So the first month you can do that. And they send you charms for doing things. So I work for Charms. Money comes with the charms, but I work for Charms. So they send you a bracelet, but the bracelet isn't big enough if you're like me. And it's hard to put on yourself. I'm just going to put it out there. So you either need a man to help you or a friend or a dog that has thumbs. I don't know. But for every 2,000 month, you get sent a 2,000 PRV charm. When you're in top sales for the month in your title, in your country, you get money bags. When you help others succeed, you get charms with a shooting star charm there. Just for doing, one of my team members just got her 10,000 lifetime PRV, and she was so excited because she just does this for personal use, a couple of orders here and there, but she still gets charms too. Top sponsor when you're sharing things over 3 a month. So when I got my consultant guide in my kit, I had not tried Scentsy. I had not smelled Scentsy. I had not seen Scentsy. I didn't know what Scentsy really was. I flipped to the back and went for prizes. What can I earn? What can I earn? That was that. And I didn't get my kit for over 2 weeks, so I didn't even know about Shooting Star. So it's the one charm I don't have, and I'm really bitter about it. So I keep going, can I get an honorary one somehow? I do that all the time now. But once I found out that I could get this and I could get free product, because I didn't have a lot of money when I started. So why not work to get the free product, because that would only help you in your business. So the prizes help. The prizes help you in your business. It's kind of like your CV a little bit too, if you want to go to the top. So for me, if you're like me and you like events and you like prizes and you like recognition, that's something too, that get excited about that, and own it. Like, be excited, share it. A lot of people don't get happy mail in their letterbox. They just get bills, or they don't get anything anymore. Everything comes by email. But even the emails, everybody screenshots and shares, because nobody gets a lot of happy in their life anymore. And so Scentsy is definitely the joy spot and the happy. And most of me and my team, that this is our happy place. So so I just had to talk about that, because Delinda got me all excited because she said 2,000 PRV, and I was like, me. So that's always a goal.
You're so awesome, Patty. We love you. And I'm glad you shared that Audrey was on, and she said she didn't know about all those different charms. It's a super charm.
Yes.
So it's good to know all those charms, because there's some really, really cool ones you can earn. And I've never been a top in sales in my country, Patty. So I'm just going to do this. And
New Zealand's small. I call New Zealand Florida all the time. I'm like, it's just Florida. It's just Florida.
It's just Florida. Well, I'm going to share real quick about the Scent Warm of the Month, because I have mine right here. So as a new consultant, this is something that you can join underneath your accounts tab if you log into your workstation. Scent of the Month, you get 9 bars. You get a room spray. You get a small party test, or a big party tester, and a small party tester. These are the ones that come with your kit. You also get a bunch of flyers that have the Scent of the Month on it, and it also has the Warmer of the Month on it. Okay, so you get flyers, you get scratch and sniff stickers. I said it right. I can never say that. Scratch and sniff stickers. Okay, so you get a bunch of these. So the great thing about this is, if you just want to sign up for the Scent of the Month, you can get the bars, the room sprays, the stickers, the flyers, and all that. It's typically, we have so many countries on here, so ask your upline how much it is. And then you can also get all that with the Warmer of the Month as well. The whole package is discounted, plus you get paid off of it every month. It is a great, great deal. So what I do, I melt down the Scent of the Month, and I make samples, and I put these scratch and sniff stickers. Man, I can never say that, and I've said it like 3 times right. You put these stickers on a little Ziploc bag, and bam, those are they have the name on it, so you can look at your sample and see the name of it. I think it's a really great investment. You can write it off on your taxes as marketing, because you are marketing the business using this as a sample every month. And that we didn't even mention that, but like Delinda said, get organized on your taxes now. Most of us as leaders has underneath our files tax categories, ideas for writing off things. I know there's a Scentsy page devoted to tax write-offs. I'm no professional, I'm not a CPA, so don't ask me questions, but there's a lot of information out there, and a lot of deductions just for signing up. So the taxes shouldn't stress you out if you're new. If anything, you should benefit from them if you work it right, work your business, and claim all the deductions that you're allotting. Anyone else want to share real quick about anything that we missed? Any other? Yes.
Let me touch on that about the awards. All that information about awards and stuff is going to be in your Scentsy consultant guide. This comes in your kit, and of course you don't have it the first few days, but when your kit comes in, read this from cover to cover. It has got so much useful information in there that's going to help you a lot. All the awards are going to be in there. Your list of 100's in there. You can make copies of it so you can use it over and over again if you want to do that. Just lots of great information. Tells you all about the different kinds of parties, how to do your launch party. All those types of things are in there. The compensation plan, which don't look at that like Jacquelyn says to. And especially Sensational Start, because there's so much information about Sensational Start and all the things that you can get. Look at that. Exactly. Patty Wonder has hers up. Which one is that? Annual Mentor. So,
Mentor, yeah.
Right. Annual Mentor. That's one of the annual awards. It tells you all about how to earn that kind of thing in this Scentsy consultant guide. So please make sure that you read this and keep it. Don't throw it away. It's very important. I still have my original one that came in my kit. And I order a new one with every new catalog, because it's easier for you to train new recruits when you have that and you can say, turn to page 4 and let's look at, the Sensational Start program. So it really helps you a lot to have a new one in front of you when you have new recruits that come onto your team.
Love it. Thank you, Miss Shonda Clayton from Mississippi.
I know you were laughing about the way I talk.
Oh, I can listen to you all day. No, I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at Fifi trying to get ice cream out of her little ice cream jar. She was just like stabbing her ice cream thing with her spoon. Thankfully, she got a bite a few minutes later. But
I love y'all.
Anyone else want to share something that maybe we missed? There's been so much information. I really hope we're going to create a YouTube link for this after the call so you can rewatch. You can share with others if you found it helpful. You can use it as a new training tool as you get new recruits. Just save the link in your phone somewhere.
I have a quick.
Yes.
Sorry, I won't take long on this one, I promise. Shonda sounds so professional compared to me when she talks about prizes and awards. She's like all like contained. I'm like, I'm a hot mess about it. I think as a new consultant, you just have to not think. That's a big, I always tell my team, if you can just not think and just go share. Don't be attached to the outcome of what people say, like, oh, well, I don't know if she'd say yes. Just hand it to her. Don't get so invested in what they may or may not say. Just share. Make somebody smile. Hand them a sample. Get the scent under noses, Don't overthink it. It's a very, very simple thing. And the other thing I would always say is make sure you're kind of, I know positive thinking is like a cheesy thing to say, but, I listen to books on audible.com, podcasts, YouTube videos, the online steps. I have a list of groups. If somebody wants the links, I can share the links of specific groups that are good without the complaining, whining question stuff, but just actually inspirational and full of ideas and tips. So your time is limited, but make sure you're always feeding yourself with good stuff because it helps block out the bad stuff.
I love it. It's so true. And a lot of times what you tell yourself is how determines your success. So if you have a bad party and you say, I stink at this, that's going to determine your success. If you hand out, ask 2 people for parties and they both say no, and you tell yourself you can't do it, that determines your success. So I love that. As a new consultant, if you're hearing the word no, that's a good thing. That means you're working your business and you're not just asking your circle of friends that always would say yes. No is good. No means you're working it. You're putting yourself outside your comfort zone. Next time you get a no, smile and said, Jacquelyn said that was okay. I'm doing something right if I'm hearing the word no. So anybody else want to share any last thing? And if not, we will.
Well, I just always give the visual to my team members that when you join Scentsy, it's like being given a key to a business. Mm-hmm. And just like that business on Main Street, you got to show up and open the doors to get business. And just because you own the business doesn't mean anything. You've got to work it. And but we got the best one. And it's just so much fun. And it's just unlimited. I mean, and there's no competition. There's room at the top. We can all be Jacquelyns. All of us. We can all do it.
Amen, sister.
That's the good thing.
I love it. I love that. Love it. Like she said, we don't have competition. And so whoever works it is going to get it. I live in a small town and I could easily say that could hold me back, but I don't let it. I work it. There's another superstar director at the top of the company that lives right behind me, literally 2 houses down right behind me. Super, super sweet, amazing girl. And I could easily say, well, I'm not going to get anybody here because there's someone that lives right behind me that's at the very top. You guys, there's only less than 200 at the very top of the company and one lives right behind me. So I could easily say that could hold me back, but it doesn't. I get new customers in my town every single week. I get new recruits in my town every month because I work it. So don't let small town, all that crap be any excuses. If you really want it, work it. And like Dylan said, there's room at the top and I am ready for all you guys to come. Mean it. So with that being said, we are going to get off here. I'm going to save this. I'm going to send it and it's going to be YouTube. You guys can rewatch. You can send to new people. I'm going to start including it in my welcome email so that way people get it. And we're so glad that you are in our group. We hope that you feel loved and you're in a community that really wants to help you. So thank you to all my leaders for helping tonight and being on and helping with the chat. We love you and hope you guys have a good night. And everyone go make their samples now. Start working it.
Good night. Good luck, newbies.
Yes, good luck.